Alright guys, in-person battle report on the table with miniatures, Order of the Green Lady versus Empire of Dust, Alpha Strike versus Grind. Stay tuned. Hello there! I like to watch battle reports to get better at games. So I started making short, summarized battle reports that focus on learning points. So welcome to my channel, Newbie Dice. Do like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you enjoy my videos. Do consider speeding up this video with the YouTube settings to consume this content or other YouTube content in a fraction of the time. Okay, as I said earlier, this is with my actual Green Lady army versus actual miniatures on the table, Empire of Dust. So before we move on, I'd like to say that we are having a Clash of Kings Southeast Asia 2024 tournament in the 13th of January 2024. It will be held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The actual venue is still being is confirmed as we speak. So, but if you are interested, if you are in the region, you'd like to head down to Malaysia to join us for this tournament, do shoot me a private message and I'll let you know more details. And so this tournament will be 2,000 points and instead of 2,300. And that is because the game will be held on one day, just on Saturday itself. It will be 4 games of 2,000 points, hence it's a shorter pointage. There will be chess clock, 60 minutes per player. So that's why my list is 2,000 point, and I am practicing on chess clock as well. So it's could be the first tournament that we are playing with chess clocks. So it's something that I need to get used to because admittedly I'm not the fastest of players. I'm generally a slower player. Okay, so with this list being 2,000 points, I'm also conscious with the amount of scoring drops I have. So usually I have a unicorn. So I've decided that I can't take a unicorn because firstly the cost and secondly it's an individual. So I really want Avatar of the Green Lady and I really want the Druid because of Bane Chant. So I have no space to put down the Unicorn. So the Unicorn usually provides a little bit of shooting support in Lightning Bolt. So I would like to have some shooting, and I'm trying out Bray Hunters. They do shoot on 18 inches, but they also move 8. So this as compared to, let's say, the Heart Piercers. So the problem with Heart Piercers, as I've spoken with Marcelo during his run at US Masters, is that, you know, they are 18 inch with 5 inch move. So they threaten a maximum 23 inches from their leader point. So what they tend to suffer is they get bullied by 24 inch bows because they could shoot you at 24 inch and you can't shoot them back. So that's one problem that the Heart Piercers face. So Bray Hunters with the 8 inch move, it is 26 inches of threat. So it can shoot back, and it is also a fast, nimble piece. It can punch decently well with 12 attacks, melee 4+, Thunderous, and Pathfinder. Nimble is also useful, and it's a sub 200 points, so I can throw it away as a chef if need be, or, you know, jam things up, so on and so forth. Okay, the rest of my list is pretty standard. So Order of the Green, Order of Brotherhood, that's your usual knights with Pathfinder. Okay, Order of Redemption, I have a last 5 points, so I decided to put Liliana's Tear on it. This makes them immune to Dread and Brutal. Okay, so the problem I always have with them is survival. So the only cheap item that I can give them that helps in their survival would be Liliana's Tear. I could give them Staying Stone, but they already have Headstrong and doesn't. So this might bump up their route value, right? Whereas the Staying Stone just bumps up the waiver value. Okay, pseudo bump up the route value if it negates the Brutal or Dread. I do think it's getting more and more prevalent. So not in this game, but oh well, it's only 5 points. Order of the Forsaken, so one with J-Boots, the other one with Pipes of Terror. I wanted to take the Helm of the Drunken Ram, but I think on the Horde it costs 20, so even if I take off the Liliana's Tear, I can't put it on this unit. So Brutal, next best thing, because you know it's almost like a extra wound in combat. So next, 2 beasts of nature, beasts with flying, speed 7, attacks to 7 rather. Okay, I really like them as flanking pieces, but they just did alright this game, so we'll see how it goes. Pegasus 2, Druid, and Avatar of the Green Lady. So my opponent's list, 3 mummies, 2 in troops and 1 in regiment, 2 skeleton warrior chiefs, 2 enslaved guardian, 1 with blade of slashing, 1 scavenger, 1 soul snare, undead worm, 2 pharaohs on foot. So this is an interesting unit choice. So my opponent took them because their defense 6, so they are really hard to kill at dash 16. Correct, and they do have regen and life leech, and on top of that, with soul snare, it's really hard to take them out. Okay, and yeah, being an individual, they can turn wherever they need to go. The only issue is the speed 10. Okay, they do come built in with surge, so this list has 1624 surge, right? So that's quite a long thread. Okay, so 24 divided by 2, half of them being successes, they can search 12-inch on one thing if they all concentrate on it. That's theoretical though, because sometimes once you search once or twice, you might be out of range for the third caster to search, but you know, at least 2 of them is also 8-inch of distance. Okay, so looking at the rest of the spells, we have Scorched Earth on one of the pharaohs and weakness on the Cursed High Priest. The Cursed High Priest also has Drain Life. Alright. What else is there to take note? Host Shadow Beast 2. This one can fight very well if need be. Same for this pharaoh, because he has this Eternal Guard. It's elite melee mummies only, and it's an aura. So it affects itself, because it's a mummy, see? Okay, so quite a lot of points sunk into the individuals, but it's still 9 scoring drops, same as me. Okay, out of 13, so it's 2 more units than me. Alright, so let's move on to the battle, but before that, a word from my local game store. If you're from the Asia Pacific region, do consider checking out Hammer House website for your hobby needs. They carry a wide range of miniatures and hobby supplies, including Mantic, Vallejo, Scale 75, and Green Stuff World products. Alright, so this is our deployment. So first thing about the map, you will notice that there is this thing over here, 2 blocking terrains side by side, which cuts off this point, right? So cuts this part out. Okay, so the scenario is pillage with 5 tokens. So my opponent put this token over here that's a bit close to this wall of blocking terrain, and I thought that I think I chose side, so I thought I choose this side. So because I think hopefully this blocking terrain screws him up, and then he has difficulty trying to reach this token. Okay, but then again, there's 2 tokens on this side of the board and 3 on this side. Okay, so I think admittedly I don't have a great plan going in. I tend to deploy fairly symmetrically. So if you noticed, I have 1 piece of nature on each side, Pegasus on each side, and then Forsaken along the 1/3 line, the 2 cavalry somewhere around the middle, and then I have extra centaurs on this side. Okay, so the game is with no withdraw. Alright, so this is how my opponents deployed. So the mummies troop, 1 troop over here and 1 troop over here. The rest I have labeled the units in case you find it hard to identify. Okay, and so let's move on. Okay, so there you go, we're playing with chess clock. So I move things up pretty generically. Okay, so Beast of Nature, this Beast of Nature is facing forwards, the wing could hit the wall, so I have to turn it. Okay, so Yeah, pretty generic. I like to deploy the Forsaken on the 1/3 line. So if I split the table into 3 parts, right, I like to deploy the Forsaken. You can see they're both on the line. Okay, why is that so? Because by doing that, I can threaten both the side and the center. The side and the center. Okay, but admittedly, he did leave this part blank. But still, I was very cagey and cautious because with the scavenger screening the worm, I can't hit the worm, and the worm could fly 10 and surge into a flank of a unit if I come too close. So I was very cagey on this side, so waiting for him to make a mistake. Yeah, and scavengers, are they speed 10? So if they're speed 10, yeah, I also don't want the scavengers to pin down the Beast of Nature. Okay, so I think perhaps I was a bit overcautious at the start over here. Okay, but we'll see how things goes, right? So my opponent push things forwards. The worm and scavengers turn to face the Beast of Nature threat while keeping the front guarded. Okay, and let's see. So he has Scorched Earth and Weakness, right? So he weakened this unit and he Scorched Earth this unit. Soul Snare, drain life into these center Brotherhood unit as well. Okay, so one thing that he made a mistake with is by pushing all this up, right? He exposed the flank of these Enslaved Guardians to this Forsaken unit over here. So I took the charge over here. So let's see. So going from left to right, my Forsaken charged into the Enslaved Guardians in the flank. I was thinking on average I have a good chance of taking it out, and I wanted to take out the skeleton troop. So although let's rewind, my centaurs charged downhill, but it's only 12 attacks, so on average 6 hits, crushing 2, 5 wounds, right? 5 wounds is still not enough, so I devoted the Beast of Nature into it as well, and I charged the Pegasus into the mummy troop to chaff it up, because even if I don't kill the mummies could only hit back at the Pegasus, and it jammed the Enslaved Guardians behind also, even if I don't kill it. Okay, I also flew my Green Lady somewhere here. I can't really see. I think it's this one over here. But applied Cloak of Death over here just to make sure I help to pile in more wounds with Cloak of Death. So on average, I should have dealt 12 damage because it was weakened. So it's 36 attacks on trees, which is 24 hits, and for the wound should have 12 wounds. Cloak of Death and Brutal because it has Pipes of Terror, but I did not route it at all. Okay, I rolled pretty below average in damage, and even though it's not inspired, I did not route it in one go. Not the end of the world though. So over here everything backed up, if I'm not wrong. These two stay. This one backed up a little bit, and I regretted not backing up more. I think I backed up, let's see, it's towing into the forest, so maybe I backed up about 2 inches. I could back up another 2. That might bring my frontage behind the forest, and if it didn't, I should have positioned in a way that if I back up 4, you'll be back in the forest for hindered charges. Okay, because although I'm out of threat range, he has a lot of surge, and that's exactly what he was gonna do. So let's forward. So looking at this over here, he surged the mummy troop into these Brotherhood Knights. Okay, so with I think 2 surges. Okay, the priest and one of the pharaohs. The other one cast either Scorched Earth or Weakness. I don't know which one is which. And I'm not sure if I healed off all the wounds because my Green Lady did fly off into this over here, so it did not cast Heal 6, it did not do Radiance of Life, so it was only down to my priest with Heal 2 and Conjurer stuff, so I might not have healed it fully, cannot remember at this point, but the mummies surged in, plus Drain Life again from the Soul Snare. I've taken some heavy damage, right? And I lost my Thunderous, so I am killing these mummies, even though it's a troop, it's not a given. I forgot what's that nerf. Okay, dash 14, defense 5, so it's not easy. So on average, I have about 11 hits and 4 wounds. So not likely to kill. So yeah, so it did push everything forwards a little bit more. So now the Enslaved Guardians are a little bit further out. And so top of 3, let's talk from the left. So I knew he actually wavered my Forsaken Knights. And if you looked at this template over here, that is the Beast of Nature proxy base. I knew that I could fit. Okay, but I have to consider this because when you only roll the headstrong when you activate the unit. So sometimes you have to plan ahead in case the headstrong fails, and then you activate the unit and roll the headstrong, right? So actually I could have just rolled the headstrong first. If it fails, I'll activate the Beast of Nature and it comes in. So either way, it succeeded its headstrong. It charged back into the Enslaved Guardians, who were already heavily wounded at this point. And then the Beast of Nature flanks the mummies. The mummies did hit back at the Pegasus and wavers it, right? Okay, and so the Pegasus backs. The Beast of Nature flanks the mummies and killed it off. And what my Centaurs did was it turned to face this way. Okay, it is nimble, so it actually could look down here. And there is a very small gap between these two buildings. So I shot at a Snow Snare, which isn't great because 7 to hit. So yeah, shooting at anything is pretty pointless at this point because the Drain Life would just heal it back, because there's nothing else there's something that's heavily wounded, but alright. So, and shooting at the Enslaved Guardian, I think they do have life leech, so plinking 1 or 2 wounds, you heal back without even needing any Drain Life support. Okay, so my beast Green Lady. So although my Forsaken was quite wounded, I think I chose to heal the green Pegasus because this Forsaken is pretty safe because of the building. They are all height 9. Okay, it's very safe, but I was afraid the Soul Snare might shoot through this gap at the Pegasus, so I'd rather it be back to full health. Okay, so another thing I did was, because the facing of my Forsaken here, to fly, if it flew 10, you'll be clipping here. So I need to fly more than 10, which means I couldn't turn. Okay, that is something that I did not think through properly. I should have angled it this way so that it could fly and turn, and all within 10. Okay, because if I flew more than 10, I would be facing this way, which isn't great. Okay, so you'll notice why later on. Okay, so being a little bit overconfident that I won the left side, I charged everything in on the right. Okay, firstly, this unit is stuck in combat and I had nothing else that could charge at it, so it was bound to die. It took heavy damage already, 2 rounds of Drain Life plus the mummy just charging it. It's not going to do much in return. And the Forsaken killed off the Skeleton Regiment. The Redemption, weakened or scorched, I can't remember, dealt pretty good damage to the mummies but failed to rout it. So 11, as you can see here. And okay, another reason why I decided to go in, right, was because as he pushed these things forwards, right, it opened up this gap over here, which my Pegasus could flank the worm with. Okay, so previously it was tighter. The Pegasus couldn't fit inside this gap, but now the Pegasus could. So being on the clock, I couldn't think through. I should have thought a little further, but I just saw, oh, I can charge the worm. Okay, I'm going all in. Because being able to ground the worm means they can't flank into my expensive units, right? So I charged the worm in the flank, and the Beast of Nature charged the Scavengers, and the beast itself only has 7 attacks, so it's not expected to rout the Scavengers, so it didn't. It was all expected, but on hindsight, looking at a bot state like this, it wasn't worth it at all. So, yeah, another thing to add salt to the wound, I put this this Pharaoh in my front arc, so that means it could charge my front. So the least I could do is place it in my flank or something, so it can only charge my flank. That means, yes, it grounds me, but I could still charge stuff, right? So anyway, let's see what happens on the bottom of 3. So the worm just retaliates on the Pegasus and wavers it. The scavengers dealt 2 wounds onto the beast, which is great, grounds it, that's good enough. Okay, the redemption got eliminated by mummies plus enslaved guardians combined. Nothing out of expectations over there. Even the Pharaoh charged it as well. And so the mummy troops took out the Brotherhood Knights, probably with more drain life. So yep, that's not to be expected as well. And then the Pharaoh holds down the Forsaken. So now I've lost my Thunderous, I've lost my Fly. I'm hitting him back at Crush 1. He's defense 6, so I'm only expected to deal, what, 4 wounds on it, right? On the dash 16. So not great at all. And all this is facing down on me. Okay, so the Enslaved Guardians is actually facing to the right. The fence is actually the front of the unit. Okay, so mummy's troops killed and turned around. So that opened something though, because this is within 16. Okay, so what I did, let's see. So the centaurs flanks the mummies with Bane Chan support as well. It's wounding on 3s with Vicious, because I gave it Chant of Hate. So I'm expected 12 hits, 8 to 9 to 10 wounds, right? 8 before Vicious, right? So maybe 9 or 10. And so the Beast of Nature, what I wanted to do, I was being a bit greedy. So I faced the Beast of Nature this way. So the building is this way. So my front is protected. So the Beast of Nature can't be charged, but just enough for my center point is peeking out, so it can look all the way over here. And of course, I wanted to support the right as far as possible. So I went all the way up to this building over here. But very unfortunately, that puts me within 10 inches of the Pharaoh, which charged me. So that's a big mistake on my part. Okay, so the Pegasus, there's a token right here at the corner. So in the earlier pictures over here, just beyond the hill. Yep. So my Pegasus wanted to threaten flanks, but actually, and I think this is pretty safe from the Soul Snare. And just in case, my Druid is inspiring it as well, inspiring this way. It just wants to provide a threat, but end of the day, it's just going to back up and collect the token for pillage. Stay on the token. Okay, so next, my Order of the Forsaken, because remember the earlier mistake, so I had to turn and fly 10 inches, which means I'm threatening almost pretty much nothing this game, because the front arc is here. I'm not threatening anything this turn, and I think this is out of 20 inches. This is definitely more than 20 inches. Okay, so that's a waste, right? So why I couldn't just fly more than 10 here is because of the Enslaved Guardians. It could easily turn 90 degrees, moved up 6 inches, and then get surged into my flank if I'm sitting here. So I have to be behind this, right? Because he's facing here, right? So if he turn around, he could move 6 and then surge. So that's quite a lot of distance it could cover, right? If I stayed behind his horizontal line, that means he can't move 6 inches. He can only reform, and then he need a very long surge to get in. Still possible with the 3 casters, but I think the 3 casters are busy doing stuff. One of them got disordered by my Forsaken. Okay, so next. What did I do? Alright, so the Beast of Nature finishes off the Scavengers. The Forsaken just hits back at the little Pharaoh, but of course can't kill it. Okay, so next, let's look over here. So now that the worm is free, its flank surges into flank surges into the Beast of Nature. The Pegasus, I think, got taken out by the Pharaoh, while the mummies took out the Forsaken. Okay, let's see. It took, wow, is that 7? Took quite a bit of damage. Right, let's see. I can't really tell from this number here. Looks 7, but does he have that many attacks? Okay, but anyway, he could just hit it and then with Drain Life finish it off. That's the amazing thing about Drain Life. You can pump extra wounds into combats anywhere you want. That's the Soul Snare for you. Alright, so things aren't looking great for me. The Enslaved Guardian just turns because all his search casters were busy. Right, the Pharaoh charged the Pegasus. This priest searched the worm into the flank of the Beast of Nature, and this Pharaoh took the juicy attack on the Beast of Nature to ground it. So yeah, things are looking great for him. He just positions itself to face the threat of the Centaurs. Now, if this was threatening, that would be a different story, right? But alas, it isn't. So, oh well, mistakes were made. So 15 minutes. This is with 5, 6, and a possible 7 turns left. So let's see what I do. Pegasus just went backwards, starts to go and hold the corner token. This beast is going to be stuck forever with the Pharaoh. I could take a few wounds before I might start to require healing. Okay, so I think the Druid just Bane chanted the Centaurs charging in. 6 damage, respectable, but he's going to heal most of it off, unfortunately. And the mummies that my redemption charge, right, is been regenerating and regenerating and regenerating. Okay, the Forsaken finally positions itself to threaten lots of stuff. The Beast of Nature, right, being charged in the flank, it actually backed up 5 inches. Why do I do so? It got out of the front arc of the worm, which forces the priest to have to cast Surge, right? Because if it's not casting Surge, it gets to cast other spells. So, yep, I just did that. Let's see what else is going on. I think that's not much else. So bottom of 5, this is still stuck in combat. Enslaved Guardians hit back and killed the Centaurs. The mummies just turn around, and the worm finished off the beast with the priest. Okay, and so bottom of 5, top of 6. The beast, luckily, as I position it next to this building, I mean, it's intentional, of course. It's already within 3 of this token over here. And so I'm holding 2, 1 here and 1 with the Pegasus. So currently he has 3, 1, 2, possible 3, right? So my plan is to kill off these Enslaved Guardians and hopefully survive a charge from him. So thankfully I did kill off the Enslaved Guardians. Well, with the help, definitely probably from Bane Chant, Cloak of Death. So 12 hits, wounding on 2s. So that's about 10 wounds. It's still on 2 damage, so that's already a 12. With Cloak of Death, 13. With Brutal, 14. So double ones on average. Okay, so I took it off. I think it's full health. It has been healed by the Green Lady for a few turns because of the long trip it took, right? 1 heal here and another heal here. Maybe not, because I have to fly more than 10. But either way, even if it's fresh, the chances of survival is not fantastic because he has 2 pharaohs charging in, mummies with thunderous charge off the hill, and he has that eternal guard, right, that causes the mummies to be elite, and the other pharaoh also became elite because they're all mummies. And then there's Drain Life, there's Host Shadow Beast, and that took out my Forsaken. So because he has only 2 scoring units left, he scored this 2, he has no chance to score the 3rd one. I have 2 here, So it's a draw, and so quite sad, because I think if I were just patient on the right side, I could probably just posture to hold this one, because it's very hard for his whole army to swing over to this token over here. Okay, just the beast just sat there, the Forsaken positions near it. Okay, and yeah, with that, and the Pegasus to help. So with that, I think I would have a better chance, right? Just holding this, and the third one. Okay, and it ended on the bottom of 6. We were theorizing what would happen if it continued to turn 7. So the beast is still having its front against the wall, right? So it can't get charged normally in the front. So perhaps this mummies could surge into the flank of the Beast of Nature, right? And that's something that I would expect. So what I can do to prevent it, just a fun thought exercise. So in order to surge in the flank, right, it needs to come up somewhere here, right? And then start to be surged. So what I could do is to position my 2 individuals on where it wants to be standing before the surge. So I could just put one of my individuals here, and so it can't position itself, because you can walk through the individual but you can't end on it, right? So then it can't position itself here to be surged. So that would be my goal, and it would protect the Beast of Nature, right? So if there's turn 7, probably still a draw, because this unit can't get into the beast. So I just have to heal it up with all this healing over here. Radiance, heal 6, heal 2 plus Conjurers. Okay, so if I rewind back, let's see. So at this point, bottom of 2, as I'm gonna clear this out on the top of 3, I could probably still charge the Pegasus in here. And I was thinking I could charge the Forsaken in. Okay, and that would wipe out the Scavengers, right? And then I would be able to hit the worm next round instead of not getting to hit the worm next round. These skeletons would be free, so that's another thing. The mummies could, I'm not sure if the skeletons could back up and then allow the mummies to move and search into something. So yeah, that's a thought exercise. Or I could, because this is a hill between us, so I could only see the worm and I'm probably not in range to charge it. So what I do with this is another question. I could charge into the skeletons. So although I'll still get wiped out by all this over here, but at least I'll bring the fight over here, I suppose. But I think end of the day, I should have just sidestep towards and just form a battle line on this token. Okay, so with that, let's look at some learning points. So watch out for flank angles, flank charge angles. So my opponent did well, except that he missed the flank charge. Yeah, especially from flyers that's diagonally across from you. So that's why I love to put my Forsaken in this 1/3 line. Threatens both sides. And if he wasn't very tight over here, I could flank stuff over here as well. Okay, so it is a big footprint, so I think even if this was a flank, I don't think I could fit with all this stuff over here. Yeah. So patience, right? If I win one side, right, I knew that all I need was 3 tokens, so I should just anchor these 2 and take the one furthest out. And I should have backed this one 4 inches all the way back. Okay. Yeah, given enough time, sometimes I do position to be optimal, and then I'll measure that if I move 4 inches back, I'll be out of search range. Even if they search, you'll be hindered, stuff like that. Yeah, so a lot of time I move up the first round to back up the second round. You know, I back up on one side and commit to the other. So against Empire of Dust, they have lots of healing, so try to focus them down. My mummies got 1 charge from the redemption, and then it got healed back to full life at the end of the game, probably. Right. Yeah, so these are things that we want to avoid. And I definitely underestimate the power of the Pharaoh. They are really hard hitting, and they are pretty expensive, but they are pretty hard hitting. Against my list with lots of Tundras, once it gets pinned down by the Pharaoh, yeah, it's really bad. So yeah, when you're fighting against Green Lady, win them in the grind. Okay, win them in the grind. They lose Thunderous Charge and Flying once they are in contact, and my opponent on top of that has Scorched Earth and Weakness to blunt my Alpha, or even continuously with Weakness. Yeah, regarding the map, I'm not sure if I should have picked the opposite side instead, because this terrain, right, caused my Forsaken to take a long time to swing around. Okay, so in if my opponent was on the other board, which is a bit more open, maybe I could, the Forsaken, after clearing out the side, would have threatened his center one turn earlier, because if this wasn't there, right, I would already be threatening all this stuff. The moment I killed and turn around, I would already be threatening all this over here. So yeah, being an Alpha Strike player, sometimes I do want to deny the opponent blocking terrain, because that's the best piece of terrain that my opponent can use to protect their flanks, and yeah, to prevent me from charging, right? So it's not that I'm taking a hindered charge, I can't charge them at all. Even if I can see them, I couldn't charge them in the flank because I couldn't land. So yeah, blocking terrain is a greatest tool against Alpha Strike armies. In my next battle report, just a teaser, there will be a lot more of this but my opponent do against me as well. Okay, so yeah, so I am because I am building my Goblin army this year, and it's not ready yet, so the tournament is in January. So I initially thought of bringing Green Lady. I do have them very thematically done with a display board, so I thought that would be a bit of a last hurrah for my Green Lady army, which I've been playing since pretty much the start of 3rd edition, 3 years on already. So yeah, I was ready to move on to another faction, was thinking of trying Green Lady again, but I am a bit, burnout, not as excited to play Green Lady anymore. I do think that as strong as they are, one of the biggest weakness is that they don't have great shooting. So it's the Forsaken or the Centaurs that I'm not Forsaken, the Heart Piercers, or the Centaur Bray Hunters that I'm running, which isn't a great unit, or Unicorns with which has a sprinkling of lightning bolts. So all of which doesn't have a lot of shooting. So when the opponent is able to, do up their formations very cleanly to protect their flanks and so on and so forth, and with units that's hard to pick off with shooting, with the little shooting that I have, it just forces me to charge into unfavorable charges, right? If they can keep a tight formation that I can't pick apart, that means I just have to charge in, so that isn't great as well. Yeah, the biggest tool is that I can charge something and then jam something else with Pegasus, right? So that's the biggest tool in the Green Lady toolkit, and if the opponent is able to handle that, then yeah, things will be difficult for the Green Lady player. So anyway, I have another game testing out Green Lady, whether I want to bring Green Lady to my tournament in January. So with that, I'd like to do a shout out to my patrons: 1 Peep Anonymous, 2 Peep Luke Schaefer and Thomas Douglas, 4 Peep Alessandro Serpe. Thank you very much for supporting me on Patreon. If you enjoyed this battle report, do watch another video. Yep, and if you like my mission of dissecting battle reports, games, and gives tips on how we can all play better, and that's my mission, right? Because we all don't get to play as much as we want to. So during the times that we don't get to play, I'd love to watch content to help me improve as a player, and that's my motivation behind starting this channel. So if you do like my mission, do consider supporting me on Patreon. Okay, the website, patreon.com/newbiedice. I also am making podcasts, so my podcasts try to focus on lots of topics, not just necessarily competitive gaming. With that, this is the end of my battle report. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, do remember to like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one.